Good day, everyone. So we had an interesting day yesterday. That spike up was so quick, it actually froze my platform. I don't know if you guys also use FTMO, but FTMO and this other prop firm I'm using as well. So that was a quick spike, but as you guys can see, let's go down to the smaller time frame. Spiked up, and this was likely to take out any sellers out here, right? So I had a stop loss at 12,200. Now FTMO actually saved my ass yesterday, because let me actually bring that up here, show you guys. The spike was so quick. Now I actually had in positions where is this thing? Right, and with the stop loss at 220, and with that spike the platform froze here, and it actually closed all my positions over here, which were in profit. I mean, not that much, so it actually closed them in profit and then opened back up here. So I'm pretty happy about that. Actually also just gave me an opportunity to pretty much enter slightly higher entries, but I went in small because yeah, you guys saw how quick that was. That was insane. Let me actually go back here. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know if any of you guys ended up adding in some spice, right? Let me go back to here, because I pointed out this area, this counter trend line, right? Resistance, resistance, breaks above, support, resistance, resistance, and then this trend line of support over here, support, support, support. So this was a massive like bull fake, man, to take out, I guess, any buyers from here. Also it was like because the CPI inflation data came in pretty lower than expected, that spike happened, right? But now if it came in hot, I think we would have been able to, there where I pointed it out, right? But as you guys can see, it spiked up, and that entire lost the entire gain just a few hours later, right back to where it spiked from. So shame, I feel bad for anybody that bought up there, because now we're right back below. You see it closed here in this area. Let's check out Fibonacci real quickly. So if you perhaps did enter, I don't know if you would have gotten the chance because it was so quick, that spike. So, but if you did and you had a slightly bit higher stop loss, you could probably be in. Remember, this isn't financial advice, this is just scenarios that I look at. And as you guys can see, this massive spike, it's to be expected. We knew the news was coming, so volatility, that's why you must always wait for that news to see what the news says before just making the decision. I don't trade the news. But as you guys can see, pretty much price action news played into the price action. Bull fake, closes back below this area. So now guys, today, okay, wait, let me actually explain why I entered, because I must now show you guys my MT4. So the reason I took a chance again with that entry, with that spike up, was, okay, so this is the logarithmic chart, right guys? So you guys know they're not the same, the flow is a bit different, so it's always best to rather use one or the other. But I found that in this bear market, I think it's important for me to continue looking at the logarithmic chart. But this is obviously the main chart. It's the same flow like on your MT5, right? So here you can see resistance, resistance, pushed up to that resistance, 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 top of this channel. That combined with the resistance here and here. Right. So what I did was at that trend line, as you guys can see, I went in small, and I just had like because I wanted to give myself a wide stop loss in case the thing just kept on boosting. So I just gave myself a stop loss above here, but it never made it up there. It dropped from that resistance. Now, does that resistance hold? I don't know. We'll have to see. Today's big news, right? So it's the Fed rate decision. So this rally basically is based off the possibility that the Fed will pivot or stop the rate hikes. I don't know what they're expecting exactly. But it's likely that the Fed is going to continue with the rate hikes. So maybe the market is expecting, because of the CPI data that is lower, that the Fed might pivot. Maybe. I don't know what they're thinking. But if they disappoint the market, maybe we get a rally back up here. Let me use this chart. Maybe we drop here, rally back up. Maybe the market likes something he says, and then we get a drop. Like after when they first dropped the rate hike decision, right? So let's say, for instance, they say, okay, a 50-point basis hike. Then maybe we get a rally with that, right? And then afterwards is most when Jerome Powell comes out and talks, and then he now lays out what the policies are, and he might then say something now like, okay, yes, we did maybe bring down the size of the rate hike, but he might say that it's going to continue longer. Or they might even say, okay, no, I think right now they're trying to get it to 4%. He might say, okay, we need to get it to 5-6%. I don't know. I'm just thinking of the possible scenarios. So I think it's another very volatile day, guys. So if you did enter anywhere up here, rather keep it as stop loss. And if it comes back up, see if you can re-enter. That's what I did. But who knows, maybe this thing just goes. Maybe it continues to drop. We get a bounce off this resistance area. And then maybe continue back down. So for instance, this area that I've been looking at, I've been pointing out for our potential entry at the bottom of this 13-year channel at major resistance, major support. Remember, guys, this is the logarithmic chart. You set your settings here. You either choose regular or logarithmic, right? So the bottom of this trend channel, support. I don't think this is going to be like a straight. So I don't think we make that, right? Unless Jerome Powell says something that just makes this thing go, which I doubt. No, I could be wrong, but let's not try and base this on hopes and dreams. So what I'm thinking is, because the S&P looks the way it looks, man, Like this thing looks like it has a much larger drop. At this, we might have a bit of a longer drop into the new year, and then maybe we get the bottom, right? But now I'm thinking that because this thing has such a long way down, it might drag everything else down with it. But now my thing is, does it actually pull Nasdaq further below this low, or does it, while the S&P falls, maybe we go sideways for a while? Possible. We'll have to see when we get there. So I'm still looking at this area, right? Let me just refresh your memories. You guys can go over like the videos if you knew the videos I made explaining all of this. I go into detail there, so you can just check out the previous videos. So it's still at the bottom of this trend line at this 61.8 Fibonacci level. That would be my first area of interest. Right? Around the 10,500 area. I'm thinking there's the possibility over there, given the confluences that we put together, right? But obviously now this thing must now first show us what it wants to do. Does it really want to break above this thing and go? We'll have to see what the Fed says. But if the Fed says something we don't like, break, retest, then I will try to find more positions to enter myself in. Right? Not any financial advice. I read the disclaimer in the beginning. With that said, I also brought up, I just want to go over these things really quickly, man. I also brought up this area over here. Let me take these things away so it doesn't look so confusing. So let's say it breaks through this resistance support over here, right? What I'm looking at next is this anchored VWAP from the 2008 financial crisis, right? The last bottom over here. The reason I'm putting it over here and not over here is because even if I put it here, it still only draws it from here. So basically from this low is where the information comes in. As we can see, let me go to the weekly. Support, 2018 financial crisis also, support, corona crash, support. So if we fall further than this, if we break this support, now I mentioned earlier that it's the major counter trend line, and if that's broken, then we could be in store for something much bigger. That's still in the realm of possibility. But we also might get like a fake out, like a bear trap, and then it breaks through and then breaks back into it, right? Like for instance over here, it broke below it but then closed above it. Same like yesterday's move. It faked us out here, broke above it, then closed back into that area that I was looking at, right? So that's why I'm just preparing for that scenario with this. So now we have that anchored VWAP. That level is about at 9,900, right? I also just want to draw in this little level here just in case. It's the corona peak before the crash, that resistance over there. So I want to draw that in there as well. Then if we look at this descending channel, right now, you guys are starting to get the picture that I use a lot of channels in my analysis. This helps me kind of like formulate a GPS as to where the market wants to go, etc. So for instance, this channel, we can, let me just put it on the monthly screen. We can kind of judge the movement of the chart long term. So now we know that when it's at the bottom, it tries to work its way to the top. So if, let me just eliminate this quickly. Show this example a little better. So I'll draw this low and this low. So as you can see, bottom, top, bounces, finds support at the midpoint. So now over here you have a little GPS for yourself. Take profit, buy, take profit, buy, take profit, buy, take profit, buy. You see what I'm saying? So now obviously the channel got extended to this point. That's why I now drew it out the way that I did, right? So I use this because I'm more of a swing trader. This last year has forced me to, just adjust my strategy a bit because, I've just been buying in these bull markets. So I had to adjust a lot of things by taking smaller positions, etc., day trading, that type of thing. But once we get back into the bullish phase, these are the type of channels you must try and look for. So as you can see, this channel then extended, and that's the channel that we have here, right? So that's why I'm looking, because it bounced at the bottom at a known U-turn area. Now I have an extended top, and we're closing in on this area over here, right? So I have a second channel. I just want to show you guys examples of what I'm talking about, where I also drew it out like this, with this as the bottom of the channel, right? We found support more often. Sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, and now gave us this. The same channel that's drawn from here is also support, 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 support. That's why I'm looking for support over there. Now, because of what I mentioned earlier about the breakthrough, so for instance here you see support, 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 support. Corona crash, reached it, but faked it out, closed back above. I'm just trying to prepare for that scenario myself as well, and I thought it would be a good thing for me to point it out to you guys. But to get back to my point over here, so same way I use channels to find things to go up, right? On the larger time frame, same way you can find it on the smaller time frame. So this has now been our downward channel for the year so far, right? Top, bottom, top, bottom, top. Not quite the bottom, but I'm looking at that now. So if you do get that break, we might potentially then say, okay, now maybe it's gonna push in that area. And why I say that area is because, so I pointed out the anchored VWAP and the support that it's had with all the other crashes, right? We have previous resistance, right? Now turn support, which could continue to offer support now, approaching this area, right? But let me take that away for now. Then I'm looking at this channel's midpoint over here. So you can see we have resistance at the top, we have support at the bottom, and we have support at these levels in between, right? So support here, resistance, support, support, and this midpoint, resistance, support, resistance, 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 support, resistance, support, could potentially line up with support in this area that we're looking at. Then over here where we're finding support as well, with this low, and found support with this low. So this would be my second chart and my area of interest is 2. That's if we break this support and decide to continue down further, right? So that's a long way to go. We'll have to get there. Now we broke this inner trend line over here. Right? We now retested that, squeezed above it, took out whatever sellers were in the market, and now we're continuing to fall. Now, with this news that's coming now, that's only at 8 o'clock tonight, right, if you're in Southern Africa. This support line and this resistance, broken resistance, could potentially form some level of support there for a bounce. Let's say it just drops now and then we get another rally. That could happen. So for now, I'm just gonna leave it. I got whatever I got in over here, right? Got that in break even now. So I want to see what happens. I would like to see a break, even if we push back up. I would like to see us eventually come back down, complete this move with it. Only comes down. Sorry. Where that comes down to this area. Let me overlay this channel. Right? So this area of support on your logarithmic chart. If that breaks, then this would be our second scenario. And I'm only looking at this scenario over here because of how the S&P 500 looks, right? Russell, really, yeah. The Russell actually moved quite nicely. Resistance, 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 trend line of support, 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 breaks, retest, down here again. So let's look at the VIX, right? So it came back down. And this is why I say we could still get that push up, guys. Because I'm looking at the resistance. All these things move the same way, up, down, pretty much in the channel. So it broke out of that, there's a support, not quite, so we might get another push down, giving us a push up, and then it could, this thing continue up, sending us down on the markets. Now again, on the regular chart, look at the VIX again. This way down is much further. I don't know if it actually wants to come and do that. But if it actually pushes that far and continues to send us up, then I don't know what excuse I would have to remain bearish, right? So we obviously take the information as it comes. If it does break bullish and none of this happens, then we reevaluate. We then look for resistance. If that resistance is broken, we then look for support on that broken resistance and then see if that works out for us. That's why you should always use proper risk management, guys. You don't want to lose all your money on one trade. Okay, guys, with that said, how long has this video been? I just meant to do like a quick one. I think this has been long enough, but yeah, hope this information helps you guys, and I'll check in again perhaps on the weekend. If you guys are interested, I have a link in my description. You guys can gain access to up to $400,000 in capital funding with FTMO. I only use FTMO. I've tried several others. I got screwed. I never wanted to mention these guys before, but their website has been shut down. The Australian Securities and Investments Commission shut them down. The prop trading. They owed me so much money and they refused to pay out my money. They gave like stupid reasons, like first they took like almost 2 weeks to get back to me. I had to continue sending them emails, and this is now for 3 different payouts, and then they get to me like week and a half later with some excuse. Apparently I was copy trading somebody else's trades, and then just shut me out of all my stuff. So screw them. Don't use that company, guys. You don't want to end up like I ended up. So FTMO, I'm testing another small account. I won't say the names yet. I got through the channel challenges and stuff, so I just want to see if they pay out and if they're giving me any nonsense, and then I might recommend them as well. But for now, I just trust FTMO, man. So if you want, click on the link. It's better than trading with $100, $200, $1,000, guys. Alright.